this entire week we're working with the breath as our base. And so we're going to continue down that road because breath is basic. Breath is always there from the moment you take your first breath until your last breath. It's going to be there for you to be able to practice with. So there are some people that for whom breath is not the best place to rest their attention, because if you're sort of sensitive in that area or it brings something up for you, then you can choose other forms of practice. If that's the case for you, I'll say go ahead and just reside your attention on wherever the pressure of your body meeting the ground is. So that could be on your feet, that could be on your seat bottom, probably one or the other of those. And if you're laying down, it could be your entire underside, your entire back, or however you're laying down. But for most of us, the breath is sufficient. It's a good place to start. And on Monday, I started with this fundamental understanding that is important, so important for what I teach that I'm going to repeat it. I'll probably repeat it over and over until the people get the point, until I feel like we all got it. But there is a sense of calm that is built into us. It's there. It's part of the hardware of being a human, of having a human body, of being alert, being able to be awake. That is the divine. It is calm. It's right there. It's the part of us that can pay attention. And what we're doing when we are practicing is we are returning our attention to that calm, to the piece of us that can pay attention, which is our divine spark. So every time we are practicing, for me, this practice is a deeply spiritual practice because that's what we're doing. Because when I am attending to what's happening in my senses through the breath or through whatever other practice we're offering, when we're doing that, we are convening with the divine. We're building ourselves the ability, the capacity for being with whatever is arising. So that's number one, very important for critical understanding for what we're doing here. And yesterday, so the first day we did a practice, and you can use any of these practices I'm giving you different practices so that you can try out on your own system what works. And throughout your meditative journey, you're going to find that different ones work for different things. And it may change. It may you're in love with one of them, and 10 years later, that doesn't work for you anymore almost at all. Or maybe the same one works for you for the rest of your life. But I'm giving you different ones so that you can try. The first one we did was just noticing the entire body being breathed. Noticing that it's kind of like a big balloon. Our body is like a big balloon that when we breathe in, it expands and opens us up, and you can notice your chest moving and rising, and even your whole body kind of bobbing a little bit as you breathe in, and as you exhale, contracting. The practice that I taught yesterday, which we're gonna post up online so that you have it as a resource for yourself. It's like a half an hour recording that you can go through and listen. And actually, there's some practice time built into that half an hour. It's about 15 minutes of time in practice that you can use as well to center yourself. We use the four parts of the breath. And if that is helpful for you today, that's great too. The unique four parts that I was pointing out are the inhale as one, that point of transition where it's no longer inhale and not yet exhale. That would be number 2. Exhale would be number 3. And the point of transition, again, that part where you're not quite exhaling anymore and you're not inhaling just yet, that would be number 4. So you would count 1, 2, exhale 3, 4, 1. And you can just use those numbers. They're just giving you an ability to pay attention just a little bit longer, to stay in that space of calm, to stay in that space of attentiveness, so that you can be there just another instance. Just another instance. And today I want to highlight on a bigger level for our attention before we jump into the practice, the concept that I think is very helpful for to support the practice, which is many times we get caught in the trap of thinking that somehow the noise that we hear in the background when we're practicing, the sound of a car alarm in the distance, or for me it's a baby screaming in the other room, or for you, whatever it is for you, or a thought in your own practice, or an itch on your nose, or whatever is arising that is taking you away from paying attention to the breath, is a distraction. And what I want to suggest, that just like in practice and just like in life, it is the road. It's not a distraction. It's part of whatever is. And so we have an opportunity when we're practicing to just notice what it is. Notice the sound. Notice that your attention is being pulled away by the sound. Notice the thought. Notice that your attention is being pulled away by the thought. Notice the itch or the tingle or the pain that you're feeling in your body. Notice it and then bring your attention back. That is the path. You're not doing it wrong. You're doing it exactly right. It's just the flip is the internal flip of the switch of noticing that actually there's no thing besides the path. All of it, whatever is coming in, all of the coronavirus and all of the sounds that we hear extraneous and all of the feelings we're having in our body and all of the thoughts that we are running down the pathway of, it's the path. That is the path. So stop trying to push it away and trying to resist it. It is what it is. It is the way through. And so the Maggid of Mezrich and the Baal Shem Tov highlighted that. I talked a little bit about it yesterday, that we need to notice that everything is there for us to wake up. Everything that happens, everything that we sense, everything that we encounter is there to help us wake up. So we're going to do the breath practice again today in a little bit of a different way. We're going to use the breath in either of the ways that we used it in the last 2 days, either with the fullness of your body expanding and contracting like a balloon, noticing your entire body rising and falling with the breath. You can also use that 4-part breathing. You can notice the different aspects of the breath that helps you hook into. I use that still regularly. I notice the inhale, the point of transition, and try to really tune my attention into that point of transition. When does it really stop being in, and when does it really start becoming exhale? Where's that gap right in between? Try to sharpen my attention there. And counting, using the counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just giving yourself a little bit of something to hook onto. And then your mind is going to pull you away. It's going to do it. So just don't get all messed up about it. Just notice that it's gone away and then bring your attention back. And that's where the magic happens, is giving yourself the ability to come back. And see those distractions as the path. Seeing those ways that your attention shifts away as actually that's the work we're doing. Our work is noticing that we've been pulled away and bringing ourselves back. So what I'd love to see in everyone's individual practice is that you can set a bell for yourself for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes or however long you can set the bell for, that you can start the same way that we start together. You can ring a bell, or I can give you more resources for that. If anybody needs them or wants them, just send me a little chat. And you practice. You notice your breath. Your mind wanders away. You notice you've been wandering away, and you do the catching yourself. You bring yourself back over and over for the duration of the time you practice. That's where the magic is. It's really nice to have somebody helping like me. I'm giving you a little bit of a training wheel. I'm holding your hand in the practice. But eventually I want everybody to be able to do it for themselves, because that's when you'll start to unpack old patterns and to be able to develop insight around how your mind operates, and be able to rescue yourself, not just in meditation, but in the rest of your life. So let's practice 15 minutes, allowing the distractions to really be the path. And what would your life look like if you knew that was true all the time? If everything that you felt like is a distraction was actually the way in, that is it. Listening to the sounds of the space that you're in, seeing if you can expand your attention, take it wide, all the way to the street, as far as you can hear. Then bringing your attention closer, sense of sound in your immediate surroundings, even in your own body. And then from your toes on up, just quickly noticing from your toes to your ankles to your calves, if there's anything tight that doesn't need to be there, giving it a breath and inviting it to relax. Your calves and your shins and your quads, your hamstrings, your hips and your glutes, your belly, your low back, your upper back, your chest, your shoulders, your arms, your hands, your neck, your face. Taking a breath to just let it go. And settling your attention on your breath. Feeling that sense of calm, of the ease of noticing what is happening with your breath. Beginning with the whole body, rising and falling, expanding and contracting like a balloon. Adding in the attention to that transition points between in and out and in, where it's not quite in or out, almost frozen. And adding in those numbers if they're helpful for you. 1 for inhale, 2 for the transition, 3 for exhale, and 4 for that transition. And just starting over at 1 every time. Celebrating the fact that we're able to pay attention. What a gift. And I know you'll be distracted at some point. Use that as the path. See where it takes you, notice where it takes you, and then make it the decision to come back. Back to the calm, back to your divine spark, back to noticing the breath, back to counting if that's helpful for you. If your mind is still with your breath, stay there. And if your mind has wandered off, notice where you've gone. It's part of the path. And bring your attention back. Finding that place of ease, of alertness, of calm. Noticing how your breath is changing from breath to breath. Lengthening, deepening. Smoothing. listening to the sound. Taking a few deep breaths. Deep breath in and a very slow, extended exhale. Bringing your attention to your toes and your fingertips, giving yourself a little stretch, putting a little smile on your face, a little gratitude in your heart. Hopefully that this kind of time can settle your mind a little bit. Just bringing your attention back can sort of give you a little bit of a refresh, a restart, give you all the power you need to get through this next little chunk of the day, noticing all day long that actually whatever is coming up is the path, that it's not a distraction. That is life. It is it. So I look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. Tomorrow is also 11 a.m. So I'm excited to see y'all. Thank you.